very good environment because my father was a rich man. I attended school at Enyinem, LA. Then I came to Akimodan, continuing at Plastic Secretariat Academy for 3 years. When I completed, I came to Accra Polytechnic and did another 3 years. Then upon completion, I traveled to Nigeria for greener pastures. I started working in 2 different firms. One was a construction company as an errand boy to the main boss. And then in the evening, I will also work in the club as a club attendant. And I did it for almost 4 years when I made my first trip to Germany. With a Commonwealth passport, you could enter into UK without a visa those days. So I was convinced by a white guy on the plane that we should enter into UK to just go make window shopping. And so, as young and naive as I was, I actually followed the guy. So when we got to the immigration, they questioned me and I couldn't answer myself properly. I was actually put in cells for 6 days upon the next available flight. So they took me back to Nigeria. My German visa was not expired, so I quickly organized myself again, bought another ticket, and I traveled, made another transit. This time around, I made a transit in Italy. We got to Germany, got to Hamburg, and my visa was left with, I think, 5 days to expire.
On his attempt to travel, Ofori Atta was detained and arrested on many occasions.
They gave me to another flight back to Nigeria. And so it was like going in a repatriation, and I did that for 5 times until finally I got in Germany. Those days, what you have to do to stay was to seek political asylum, even though you are not a refugee. Whilst I was in there and I seek the asylum, I rather use a Ghanaian document to seek an asylum instead of saying I'm a Nigerian. Forgetting that when I was arrested at the airport, they took me fingerprint. And so after 6 months of staying in Hamburg, the fingerprint actually brought out my real identity as a Nigerian and not a Ghanaian. So I was arrested again and they have to bring me back. So I came back, and at that time my father was dead. So I went to my hometown, made sure that everything was done. After the funeral, I was able to organize myself well, and I acquired another document.
Ofori Atta's desperation to live in Europe led him to have nationalities of Ghanaian, Nigerian, and even Malian descent.
I was using a Malian passport because when you are having a French passport during those days, you can enter Europe without a visa. So this time around, I was having 2 girlfriends, and my idea was to send them there to pimp them. And so I took these 2 girls, took one of my nephews, took my nephew's husband, my niece's husband, sorry, and another friend's wife. And so we were 6 in number that I took through Alitalia. When we got to East Berlin, that was the time that they had the war between the East and West. So we were able to cross over from East to the West. And when we got to the West, it became so bad because a guy that came to actually meet us at the border took away my address book. So I didn't even have any telephone contact to contact my people I was going to visit. So we wandered around for almost 8 hours in the winter time. And so finally, a guy just stopped at the bus stop where we were hanging around. And he was a Ghanaian, came out of the car and asked me, where am I going? Then I said, we are stranded. So this guy quickly put us in his car, drove us to his house, gave us a place to stay. And the guy that actually came to meet us has taken away my 2 girlfriends from me because they were young girls that he can use to make money. And so but I know his name. The guy that came to pick us, his name was Kufuor, Ose Kufuor. So in the night, I told him about everything. So the next morning, he said he know where Ose Tokai was. So we went to Ose Tokai's house, and I saw these girls, and then we took them from him. After that, I took them to Org to go and seek political asylum, because that was the order of the day. If not, you won't get a place to stay. And so I could not seek asylum at that time because I was afraid that my fingerprint would show. So I stayed indoors while they went to do it. And after that, they gave them a place to stay. So I went to perch with them. They were feeding me until I became so fed up that I cannot stay there. So I have to move on.
Ofori Atta learnt all the tricks in the trade to ensure he gets asylum in Germany.
I seek asylum. They gave me my papers and my documents, gave me money. And quickly I moved out from there to the western part of Germany.
After getting his papers, he moved to Wuppertal and joined a gang.
So I joined myself to a gang that does shop robbing. So we only go to shop and leave the shop, stealing from the shop. You know, that was the only way we were making money. So every morning we go as a group, enter into a shop, and one person will engage the seller, because when you enter into the shop, you will see a very big and huge shop, but only one person that is attending to you. So as we engage the person, others will begin to pack things, and then we carry them away. I kept doing it. I was arrested more than 6 times, and I moved away from Wuppertal, went to another small city to go and seek another asylum with a different name. And I did that for almost 9 times, having 9 different identities. I did that over the time until I was finally arrested. I was sent into a prison for 6 weeks. So whilst in the prison, I requested for Amnesty International. The lawyer was able to bring me out.
After his release from jail, it appeared that he wanted to set his life back on track.
I started a course, music and disc jockeying. So finally I became a DJ, and I was employed in a club in Wuppertal. One fateful night, a friend came to meet me, and whilst we were chatting, he asked me to follow him to the washroom. So I put some songs on, and I actually met him at the washroom. So when we got there, he showed me 11,000 Deutschmark. And 11,000 Deutschmark in the year 1986, 87. It was a huge money. He could have bought maybe 10 cars and shipped them. So I said, Bobby, what are you doing here? You have enough money to go home. What are you doing here? He said, oh, no, he is going for his last trip. I said, be careful. The same night he was arrested, and he was put at the bars. 1 week after, a lady also approached me. A Ghanaian lady approached me in the club.
Working in the club, he met all sorts of people who would eventually lead him into the drugs business.
She brought me 6 kilograms of cocaine. So I took them home, went to the killer and hid the tin. And then I started selling it gradually. So after 6 months, I was able to sell all the stuff I had. I made almost 500,000 Deutschmark in 1988. And I gave some to my white woman's sister. She was also a junkie. And so when she took it, she was arrested. And she came back to tell me that the police were looking for me. So quickly I have to disappear and run to Holland. So I came to Holland with money, buy the things I was supposed to buy, ship everything to Ghana. And I landed Kotoka somewhere November 1988 with cash in my hands, 360,000 Deutschmark cash. I had my tipper truck, I have articulator head, I have my cars, and I came in. But when I got to the Kotoka International Airport, there was this custom officer that looked at me carefully and asked me a question. Do you know Yo-Yo? Coincidentally, Yo-Yo happened to be my white woman's brother's name. So when he asked me, do you know Yo-Yo? I said, oh, Yo-Yo is my brother-in-law. Not knowing that Yo-Yo was a name given to cocaine in the inner caucus in Ghana in those days. And I didn't know. So quickly he stopped working, saw me out, and asked me, where am I going? I said, well, I want to book or check in a hotel. So he said, no. He can help me, give me a place in his house. So we drove to Station Estate. He gave me a room. And then after I actually put my things in the room, he said, let's go for some yo-yo. We went to Tudu. He entered into a room and brought out a white substance. And when I look at it, I knew it was cocaine. So I said, no, this is not yo-yo, this is cocaine. He said, this is the name given to it in the inner caucus. I said, oh, I don't know how to use it, but if he wants, I can buy for him. So I gave money to him. He got some stuff, smoked it. And that was my first time seeing how they use it. So when the guy started smoking, I was just staring at him because I've never seen how they use it. Because over there in Germany, all that I do as a DJ, when you come, I just give it to you at the counter, I take my money. So the next morning, he and another guy that speaks German, they were going to drop me in my hometown. So we passed there at Tudu, and I bought them a stuff. Whilst they were smoking, the guy that speaks German started, asking me in German language whether I want to try. That is not harmful, I can try it, and all that. I look at him, and I was actually afraid to try it. But I saw the way they were looking on the ground to look at any white substance. They will begin to pick white substance on the floor. And they can even move from where they smoke the thing and go so far looking on the ground. So I was so curious. And the guy said, no, you can try it. You can try it. So finally, they dropped a chunk on the pipe for me to try. And they showed me how to do it, that when I inhale the smoke in me, I should seize my breath for a while. And I will know what will happen to me. So right there, I did exactly what they said. And my God, I saw myself in the cloud nine.